G'day everyone, welcome to another episode on the RiverStyx server. Today we're starting our episode off in the shopping district, or rather on the outskirts of the shopping district. If I keep heading this way a little bit, you'll see an area. Let me just go this way so I can see where I'm going. You'll see this area that we've marked out over here with the corners of the iron blocks. And basically we're going to be digging out this whole area, not to this level up here, but we're going to be going from level 40 down to bedrock basically. So it's going to be 96 blocks that way, 64 blocks this way, and 35 blocks deep. It's about 215,000 blocks. So I'm going to head straight into that now, and I'll see you in just a moment. Alright, and we are done. So we got this huge big empty hole that you can see here, and as you can see, there is just, it is so massive. You can fly around very comfortably through here. We end up breaking through about 5 of these amethyst geodes throughout this place. You can see one there, one there. You can see this here is the back of one. And then there was another 2 floating in the middle. We had a lot of help from Spidered Watermelon. Charon was here. Swarmy and Zergo, they all came along and helped. I'm pretty sure that was all. I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I have, I'm deeply sorry. And along the way, we got an absolute ton of resource. Now, we did the entire thing. Spider and I actually crafted up these 27 fortune pickaxes. And basically, all of these chests here are filled with cobblestone, including that one up there, because I really need some cobblestone at the moment. And then basically, yeah, we've got some granite, andesite, diorite, gravel, so on and so forth. We got a good amount of cobbled deep slate out of this, which is fantastic, because the thing that's going in here is going to use up probably at least one of these double chests, if not maybe a second one. And we've got some regular deep slate in there as well. Diamonds wise, not that great, but it's still, you know, stack and a half of diamonds, not bad. Lots and lots and lots of copper, which is awesome. Iron, which, you know, we don't really need too much. Same as the gold. I do keep running out of coal, so this is going to be fantastic to keep me going for a little while longer. And of course, redstone never goes wrong, as well as a bunch of junk along the way as well. I didn't dig up a beacon. That's the beacon we used to dig out the hole. So yeah, so the entire thing here is completely smooth on the outside. There's no dents in the walls. We made sure we filled in all the gaps as we went. There's nothing in the roof or anything like that. So when this is all done, there will be absolutely no way for anything to pretty much spawn in here. Like no mobs to spawn in here, which is what we don't want. And at the moment, we've just got this little hole to take us in and out of the farm. And we just fall straight back down into this hole here. Ignore that, that's just a marker for me, so I know where things are going. But yeah, so next up, we're going to build a shulker farm and shulker game all in one with Spider Watermelon. He and I spent about 2 months designing this shulker farm and shulker game, so it all works by itself and together. And then we're going to have the fun task of getting a shulker all the way over here into the shopping district, which is going to be so much fun and also so scary. So yeah, so that's the hole. That's a lot of work that we got done. And yeah, so this is going to be fun. All right, so now I'm going to go meet up with Spidered, and we're going to start building this shulker farm. Alright, and we have built it. We have built what will forever now be known as the double stuffed Oreo, because we did not do this on purpose, but someone in my stream let me know it looks just like a double stuffed Oreo, and I can't agree more. So yeah, alright, so what we have here, let me explain what's going on. There's quite a lot of stuff to take in here, and it's pretty complicated, but I'll try and explain it the best I can. So there's actually two parts to this. That is a shulker farm that is designed by Spidered Watermelon and I. And this is a shulker game designed by Spidered Watermelon and I. Now there's a couple of things we still need to do. We still need to move in the shulkers themselves. Haven't brought them in. And we've also got, you can't quite see it, but just there where that little observer is, that's an auto brewer. I've got to stock those up as well, which I'll explain all that in a moment. So first up, the game. All right, so the way this works, basically you put a diamond block in here. When that light's on, it means that there's a shulker in the system. Now, I know that light's on at the moment. I just said that we don't have any here. And we've just got an empty minecart sitting there just to trigger it for now. So you'll put a diamond block in the filter here, press the button, and it will start the game. Now, obviously, I didn't put a diamond in there, and there's no shulkers. All right, so then what will happen is the minecart that you can see sitting right there will have a shulker in it. That will get triggered, which will come up this rail, and it will eject the shulker here. Now, the only place that the shulker can go once it comes out of here is onto that glass block right there next to the target block, and he'll sit there. And what will happen when that happens is that trapdoor will open, and these snowmen down here will start shooting at the shulker. Now, they won't actually cause any damage, but the shulker's going to try and shoot the snowman. And because of the trapdoor being open, it'll be open up against the roof there, it thinks that it can't shoot directly. So when it shoots, it'll actually shoot this way, and then the bullet will go, oh wait, I can go in, and it will start coming back to go through here. When the bullet hits the shulker, it actually has a chance of duplicating the shulker. And then what will happen from that point is that when you get a duplicated shulker, the shulker itself, the original shulker, will teleport away, and the duplicated one will stay in there. And this is the extremes of how far away the shulker can actually go. It can actually go a little bit higher, but you wouldn't be able to hit it with your sword if it was any higher. So this is the biggest room we can make, where the shulker can go on the walls, the roof, the floor, and everything like that. So what we're going to do later on down the track, we're going to build something inside here as well. So we've got to have a bit of a testing session, Spider and I, later on today. And we're going to work out how easy and hard the game is, but based on that, we'll start putting up some walls and things like that. So you'll hear it teleport, but you may not be able to see it, and maybe there'll be like a wall here or something like that. You'll have to come around, and then it'll be back on here, and you'll have to kill it that way, and so on. So we're going to work that stuff out later on, but what we've got to do first is we've just got to see how many shulker shells you get, and so on and so forth. Now up here, so the game at this point, the game's going to cost a diamond block, but it really comes down to how many shulkers they're going to get out of it. But every game, 2 shulker shells will pop into here for you. So no matter what, you'll always get at least 2 shulker shells, or 1 full shulker box for your 9 diamonds, or your 1 diamond block. Now, to get the shulkers over here in the first place, what we've created is we've created a storage room. This room is all buttoned up so that shulkers can't teleport into here. And all of these blocks here, these are all wall blocks. So you can see they're not actually quite a full block, so they can't teleport onto the walls. They can't, over here, they can't teleport into the glass panes because they're too skinny. And they can't go on stairs. It has to be a full block that they teleport to. They can teleport to glass, however. So what we have down here, each one of these purple blocks, or purple blocks rather, and the sea lanterns will have shulkers sitting on them once we start running the farm. The farm is on that side. I'll explain that one in a moment. And then they'll basically teleport to these blocks down here, and they'll be sitting on all these blocks. When someone starts a game, what will happen is, if I pop out this door for a moment, this is our little service entrance here, there'll be a shulker sitting here already, and when you start the game, this shulker goes in to the game. So that dispenser right there will dispense a minecart, which will pick up one of the shulkers. And then it's going to park it here for a little while until the next game starts. When it parks on that, this dispenser here, which is currently empty, will be filled with the potions. And it's actually going to give it a potion of regeneration. Because when they hit themselves with a rocket, they can actually take a bit of damage. And that can decrease how long they'll be alive in the game over there. So this way they've always got full health when they go in. And you have the best possible chance of getting the most shulker shells from over there. From the other side of here, you might notice a second rail and a second dispenser over there. That one goes into the game. Now the game works more or less exactly the same. Oh, that was a bit awkward. More or less exactly the same in regards to the mechanics underneath it of like the snowman and things like that. But as you can see from here, it's vastly different from on the inside. Basically, the way this works, this is a mechanic that Spider and I sort of discovered on our own. When a shulker teleports up here, it can go on any of these glass blocks. Now, there's actually blocks blocking above here, and it's actually forcing them to actually sit on the ground, only next to the rails and things like that. And when they do that, they actually pop up and down every now and again in their rails. Now, if you look carefully, you'll notice there's a tripwire hook all the way along here with a tripwire. So when a shulker teleports here and it opens up, it trips the wire, and then the shulker gets picked up by a minecart, gets brought around here, and then follows this line over here. Over here on these activated rails, it gets ejected onto that sea lantern. So what happens here? So once they come down here and they end up coming here, they get ejected out of the farm into this tripwire here, which will dispense a minecart and will take them along here. Now down the bottom here, there's actually another tripwire hook, and all that does is if it triggers for some reason it doesn't pick up, which sometimes can happen if a second shulker gets ejected onto the same spot. There's like a bit of a cooldown. So if it's an empty minecart, it will actually just turn this line here and will head straight back up, and the minecart gets destroyed up there and goes back into the system. If there is a shulker in it, it'll trip this tripwire hook because it'll be slightly taller, and it'll come this way. And then from here, it'll get ejected onto this hopper right here. Now, from there, it doesn't like this spot because it's not a full block, so it wants to teleport. And then straight above is our storage room. Well, you can see all the purple blocks here. So yeah, once it's finished, it goes over this detector rail, which will actually trigger a counting system, which will count how many actual shulkers there are inside this storage room. And depending on how many shulkers there are in this storage room, if there's only 10, there'll only be 10 minecarts in that hopper, and therefore, when you're in the game, you can only play it 10 times. Now, if you look down there for a moment, that is the spot that they all eject onto that I was just showing you a moment ago on the hopper. If we flick this lever here, what it will do is it'll actually put a bucket of powdered snow on there, as you can see. And then what will happen is they'll actually take freeze damage and they'll die. So when we are filling up this farm, what we can do is we can let them go there. They'll fill up all these spots. Once these spots are filled, they'll actually just start taking damage from having too many people there. So entity cramming damage in that spot. And then to speed up the process, we can put the powdered snow out, which will actually freeze them to death and make them die as well. The other reason that we want the powdered snow there as well is because once there's 24 there, it'll just stay like that. And then if you play the game, it comes through it and it doesn't count properly and all the rest of that. So we need to make sure that they die if there are any additional ones there. But that will give us free shulker shells as well, which we can just collect from this chest up here, which later on we'll have a better floor and things like that in here for us. Now, we've sort of worked it out. This isn't a super efficient farm. It's a single dimensional farm, so it's always going to be slightly slower. But basically, we get around about 100 shulker shells per hour, which is not too bad. It's about 50 shulker boxes an hour if we're AFK in this farm. So that's not bad at all. So there's a lot of redstone. I won't bother to explain all of it. And then the only other thing you got from this room, this gives us access to all the redstone and that if we need to reset anything or if we have any issues. This side over here, this is one of the auto brewers, as you can see there. We do need to cap this all off a little bit, but basically this is one of the auto brewers, and we just need to finish that off. Over this side, we've got the same thing, auto brewer number 2, and again, same thing, just cap it all off, and that'll be glass bottles, that'll be everything else. And then once this is all finished, we base this entrance here and that entrance over there, that will have to go up and out into the shopping district, because this is essentially going to be a shop and a game all in one for all the other people on the RiverStyx server to play. And then, of course, if we need to access we've got access to everything basically up here. So we've got a ladder that comes up here, takes us onto the roof. There's nothing fancy, but this is where we keep all the minecarts to restock all the dispensers down here, which run the whole farm. Now, I know it's a bit dark, and I do apologize for that. We haven't really put much thought into the lighting of it just yet, because we're mainly just trying to make sure that there's no spawnable spaces. And up here, we can sort of see into that farm. If there's anything getting jammed or damaged or anything like that, we can sort of see it all. But yeah, that's the whole thing. So Spider and I are going to go get this, go get the shulker on a live stream, and we're going to finish off all these, finish up all the brewing auto brewers, get them ready to go. And then we're going to get this thing going. And once we do, I'll come back and I'll show you how it all works with actual shulkers in here. That is when it gets a bit scary, because that's when everything can go wrong. I'll see you soon. And we are done. As you can see, there's a whole ton of shulker boxes in here. Or shulkers, should I say. It's just about completely full. There's an couple empty spots down the end here. There's another one here, but other than that, it's completely full. Now, this row over here is purely just to run the farm itself that helps us bring them in. So if I turn this one on, you'll notice it picks up a shulker, it takes it around, and it goes through. As it passes over this point here, it gets splash by splash potion of weakness. And if we just watch through there, we're going to see him get, like he's trying to shoot the snowman, but he ends up hitting himself. Now, at that point, you might have seen him teleport away. He gets picked up by the minecart immediately, and then he gets sent this way over here. Now, over here, you can see him sitting there. He gets picked up, gets brought around, and he actually gets dropped on that block right there. Now, he doesn't like that block because he's actually sitting on top of a hopper. He gets ejected with the activator rail there. And in this case, let me just turn off the snow because the snow should be off. Anyway, so yeah, so basically then he teleports in. So you can see he's gone to this spot here. If you remember, this one was empty. So we still have these two. Oh, actually, there you go. Another one's already in here as well. So there's only one empty spot here now. And then there's also this one because that's where our shulker actually got picked up from. Okay, so there's a couple down here now. You can see this whole system's full now. So the game itself is now ready to play. It's not ready to play. It's ready to play as soon as there's one in here. But now it's completely sort of it's fully stocked, ready to go, with a good 60-something shulkers in here. And you can also see now that one's full as well. So the entire system is now filled up. And that's still going to keep going. And what's going to happen is all those shulkers are going to end up on this block here. So what we're going to do, we're going to speed up their death so that they will eventually entity cram. But if we do this, you can't see it because they're in the same block. But there's actually some powdered snow there once I turn that on. And then they're going to start taking freeze damage. See, they're starting to flash red. So they're going to take freeze damage. When they die, there's a hopper underneath them, which will pick them up and put them in chests. Alright, if we run this, we get a couple of hundred shulker shells per hour. It's nothing crazy, but it's enough to keep us going anyway. Now, over this side, basically you can see there's one down here. Now, he's going to come through once we play the game. So I'm going to leave that farm going for now because it's completely harmless to leave them both going at the same time. And we're going to go pop into the game as if we were an actual player. So you enter the room, you got a bunch of stuff here. So pretty much we decided to drop the price of the game down to 3 diamonds. So instead of using diamonds, just because it makes it a bit easier for counting purposes, because we set it up to only count 1, is pretty much you can get 1 game token like that, all right, for 3 diamonds. Okay, so we've got 1 token with us. Over here we've got instructions. Once every month we're going to change the theme. So this is just, as I mentioned to you before, this is the big open room, and we're going to basically theme it around whatever's going on in the server or whatever's going on in the world at the time. People can always also buy chests here pretty cheap. They can get ender chests, and then they can also buy shulker shells directly from here for 1 diamond. But if they pay 3 diamonds, they actually have a better chance of getting a lot more than just 1 shulker shell. Sorry, more than 2 shulker shells. Now, if they come in here, when they play, they put their token in here and they press the button. I'm not going to press it just yet. I'll just quickly explain this to you first. If the light's on, it means that it's ready to go. And in this is the bonus barrel. So Spider and I put it there because basically we've found that sometimes, very rarely, the shulker can just die straight away. And if that happens, then they get nothing. So we deposit 2 shulker shells in this barrel every time, just so they always walk away with at least 1 shulker box for their 3 diamonds. But basically, yeah. So they press that, brings the shulker in, and we listen. You can hear him getting shot by the thing, and we're listening for him to teleport. There he is, and we're just going to start killing him. Oh, that was really lucky. 1 hit. Oh, there he is. So sometimes they can even teleport around. And the trick is that you want to kill them as quickly as you can. So the faster you kill them, the more likely they are to keep teleporting. Okay, so the lights come back on. That's the end of the game. So in that particular game, all I got was 4 shulker shells. Plus my 2 bonus. That's 6 shulker shells. There's 3 shulker boxes for 3 diamonds. Not too shabby. Now, this game has now been open for a couple of weeks at this point by the time I released this video. BV came in here the other day, but Vengo, he got 42 shulker shells from one round. It was absolutely crazy. So back into this room here, and as we can see, although that was happening, this is still fully stocked because I never turned this farm off. And if we have a look over here, we can see there's still a shulker there getting shot at. Alright, he just teleported. He's going to get picked up by the minecart. Away he goes through the system. And now he's over here and back through the system. And they're all just here taking freeze damage and entity cramming damage. So they're going to die pretty quickly. Alright, so down here underneath the whole thing, alright, we can see where the shulkers are dying. And basically you can see that we're getting plenty of shells. Some of them go on the top, some of them go on the bottom. And as you can see, with little to no effort, we've got 4.5 stacks of shulker shells. Not too shabby if you ask me. But sadly, that is all I have time for today. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm actually gonna die.